Hey guys, it's me. I just wanted to talk a little bit briefly before I get dinner started. That's a different video. Um, it's kind of hard to start, so this may be a little different than some of my upcoming videos. Different than the other three, I guess, that I've had. I haven't had many. But this one's a little bit more serious. I guess it's about mental health. Mental health in America is awful. Trying to get therapists, and people think because you have, for example, anxiety, which is what I have, that you need medication is going to solve your problem. No. And it may help for some, and if it does, that's wonderful. That's great. Years ago, I guess about 15 years ago, I had anxiety really bad. Um, I tried the medications and I had a reaction to every single one of them. So at that point, I had no other choice but to depend on myself, how I was going to get better. And I suffered for a few years. It wasn't fun. I wouldn't put that on my worst enemy. Definitely not. So the thing that worked the first time is I realized that a lot of the issues that I was having was in my head. My leg would hurt. I had to realize, no, it's more of a ghost pain. It's not really happening. It's your brain wanting you to worry about something. I'm definitely not, I'm not a professional with this. I'm just talking to you, friend to friend. Um, so kind of started there, and it helped me to be around people that didn't know of my anxiety. It's something that I was embarrassed of. I still kind of am, to be honest. I don't go around just holding up a sign. Um, so I would try to hide it from people. So if somebody new came into my life at that time, because I was in my 20s, I would hide it. And it kind of helped to be able to hide it. That way you try to fight it mentally. Um, the thing that helped me the most in that point was I was going through, I had these books of Bible scriptures, like on strength, I think ones on like courage, forgiveness, just different ones. I wish I still had them. They were really good. Um, and I came across a particular verse. It's like, don't worry about anything. Well, I was worrying about everything. So every time I would catch myself worrying, because at that point I was really a what ifer. What if, what if, what if, what if, worrying myself to death. And every time I would find myself doing that, I would stop. God doesn't want me to worry. He wants me to put everything in His hands. So once I started doing that, honestly, it was practically gone overnight. Just one little verse. So, life went on. Life was great. Didn't have any more anxiety. Life was good. Up until, a little over a year ago. Out of nowhere, started having anxiety. I had a rough time with a dental procedure, and I was in a lot of pain for many months just waiting on an appointment. And that kind of brought some of it out in me. And then it spread like wildfire. So then it started when I was driving. Oddest thing. I'd be at a red light and feel like I was going to lose my mind. I didn't know what to do. I felt like I was going to pass out. Felt dizzy. I hated being trapped. So I started taking different ways to work than I usually would, back roads. Because I thought at that time, well, that's going to help me with what's going on. And in a way it did. But then it just got in ways worse and worse. It got to where every day, the mornings weren't as bad. Every day was a struggle. Every day driving from home. Horrible. You know, and it is, I mean, it's your subconscious telling you to be afraid of something. You don't know what that is. And people that don't understand, they're like, well, you need to stop. Well, I would if I could. Believe me. And some of it is all in your head, and I'll admit that. For example, my vehicle completely died on us. I had to get a new car. So when I was driving the new car for the first, probably about month and a half, I was completely fine again. Drove wherever I wanted. And then it showed its ugly little face again. And at that time, I had decided, I just don't know how I can go on. It was scary. It was horrible, horrible feeling. And, you know, I try to hide it from people. It's not something I'm proud of. You know, I would come home. My nerves were so worked up, I could barely even eat dinner. It just got worse. So then I decided, well, I need a work from home job because that's what's going to help my driving anxiety. Because I've done so many different things. I've prayed, I've read books, I've watched Joel Osteen, Joyce Meyer. I've done so many things. I've watched videos on here, TikTok videos on grounding techniques, which the first time I had anxiety, I didn't know about any of this. At that point, my first anxiety, I think, was more, what if. At this point, it was a little different. So I got my work from home job. Yay! Which meant I didn't have to drive, so I thought, problems are solved. Wrong again. So at this point, it's like, it reminds me of like a tide coming in. First it comes in slowly. Comes in slowly. Comes up a little further. And that's kind of what my anxiety has done. Then I got to where I was anxious. Just getting out of bed in the morning. My heart would start racing. I was freaking out. I still had a lot of growing to do. There was times that I would feel like close to the end of the tunnel, just to have a bad day the next day to tell me, no, you're not. Every day is different, of course, as we know. Tried a lot of stuff. I got those little anxiety patches, never used them. And I'll tell you why here in a minute, but I've seen some dark days. But then when I told you how stressed I was, could barely eat, well then that caused 30 pounds weight loss. Uncontrolled, undecided. You know, most people think, oh, 30 pounds, that'd be great. I'd love to wake up and be 30 pounds lighter. Well, yeah, we all usually would. Until it's something that's out of your control. When you have anxiety, especially a health anxiety, it's like, is there something wrong with me? Why am I losing this weight? Even though I know, because I'm barely eating, period. Put on jeans and be way loose. Then that started a new anxiety, like a panic, I guess. It got to where the only safe spot I felt is right here where I'm at right now, on my bed. Have the fan on. I've cried, and I've cried. So when I say I've been through a lot of pain with this, I have. Then it morphed into dreading going anywhere because, well, I work from home. There was 2 weeks at a time I wouldn't leave the house. Not because I didn't necessarily want to, but because when you're afraid to drive, you have to depend on somebody else to get where you're going. And maybe my husband, didn't want to go anywhere that weekend. Maybe I didn't. So it got to where I would get anxiety just knowing that I was going somewhere. I'd be nervous about it all day. At first I'd be like, ooh, we're going here. And then my brain would say, oh no, but you have anxiety. I'd be in a restaurant, internally just struggling, dying, couldn't wait till we left. I've downloaded apps for anxiety to help. Tried a lot. And then one night I was on Facebook looking at those patches. Just reading the comments, if they work, if they didn't, what questions people had. And when I read through comments, I don't just read through one or two. I will read through 200. And somebody left a comment on there about DIY Mental Boost. So of course I looked him up. At this point I'll try anything. So I did. It's this wonderful, wonderful lady, and this is unsponsored, by the way. I'm just a huge fan of hers. And it's absolutely free. She doesn't charge. Not because it's not worth anything, like she says, because it's absolutely prices that everybody should know. Even growing up, you should know this. So she has tons of videos. She has a website. It's DIY Mental Boost. Her name is Renee. I always forget her last name. I'll post it on here. So she does videos. She has tons of videos. And it's a 3-step process. I'm not going to go over them with you because I don't want to steal her material. But with that being said, I started doing those exercises. She walks you through them, and they're interactive, they're fun. And I tell you, it's the best I've felt in a long time. And people may think that I'm silly and funny, but it's been a lifesaver for me. Not medication, not patches. And I did end up ordering the patches, by the way. But I didn't use them because after starting the DIY Mental Boost, which retrains this, I didn't feel my anxiety was bad enough to get them. Or to use them. I'm sorry, I got them. They're still unopened. It's been a lifesaver for me. I'm finally to the point where I feel like I can go out and work again. Now, I don't know that for sure, but I try to do little things. I try to go here, I try to go there, kind of closer to home. I even put her video up in my car as I'm driving. Not to watch it, but to listen, because she has a very calming voice on top of that, to kind of keep me where I need to be. The 3-step process, and it's so easy. And it's so simple. And I've commented on a lot of her posts saying I just can't, not enough thank yous are enough. And it's true. Please, if you struggle, stress, anxiety, loneliness, anything, watch her videos. Do it. You'll see a dramatic change in your life. And they're absolutely free. The stuff that she's telling us to do, stuff that's not been taught. It's DIY Mental Boost. Absolutely free. Tons of videos. Wonderful videos. Still can't think of her last name. Renee. But please check her out. This is the best I've felt in a year and a half. I'm finally getting my life back. I would have anxiety, like I told you in the beginning. I would have anxiety as soon as my feet felt the floor. It's not there anymore. I can finally be anxiety free as far as being at home. When I drive, I try not to press it because I know that horrible, horrible feeling. So I don't do a lot of driving, and I'm going to. So I'm still working on that, but you know, she talks about my favorite video is you take something from the past that maybe would have created all that anxiety or stress or whatever you're going through, depression, and you flip the memory. So I've been trying to do that because I don't know what caused the driving anxiety. I just remember the series of things that happened prior. So I'm flipping those memories instead of, because I mean, of course I know, but I'm trying to trick my brain, my subconscious, from being afraid. I'm saying, hey, on this day, I went to work. I didn't go to the dentist. I went to work, had a great day. We had just a few patients. You know, we had catering that day. It was a wonderful, fun day at work. After I left work, met my husband. We ate at Chili's. It was good. I tried their baby back ribs for the first time. It was really good. We came home. We had a great night. Did that really happen? No. Is that what I'm telling my brain that happened? Yes. And that's for the driving anxiety. Because sometimes as soon as I get out, see a bunch of cars, see red lights, the music playing. I mean, I can't think straight. So that's what I'm working on now. Not 100% better, no. But I am a lot better than I was. So anyone who's going through something, anxiety, depression, loss, your day isn't over. Your story isn't over. Life is a series of chapters. Some really crappy ones, some really good ones. So embrace the good ones. Stay strong for the tough ones. And you may be thinking, well, I feel weak. I know you do. But you're not weak. You're strong. You're strong for dealing with it. You know, and I hope this video helps someone. Like I said, it's not something I go around just preaching to the world. Well, I guess I am now. But yes, DIY Mental Boost. Go online. Even though I can't remember her last name. When you go on there, her videos show you, or links to YouTube. I have a folder just for her videos. It's that good. Again, I'm not being paid for this. She just asked me to leave a simple Google review, and I did that weeks ago. She don't know that I'm making this. But if this can help somebody the way that it's helped me, it is priceless. Don't go around struggling the rest of your life with worry, depression, anxiety, all those feelings, negative, bad feelings. Please check it out. I'll try to post a link to her website or to her YouTube page. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I'll do my best. Just keep fighting the good fight. I know it's tough. Just keep fighting. You're closer to the end of the tunnel than what you know. So long, guys.